We're coming back for round 3. We're going to have Zack and his Moon Clan grots and some squigs. And then Tucker and his seraphon are going to be taking it up on the lava table today for round 3. So in this one, you'll be burning objectives, and we'll be playing end to end, so left to right on your guys' screen. And if you hold an objective, you can choose to burn it either the first turn that you hold it, no, the second turn that you hold it.
You don't score any points until you hold an objective, and starting in turn 2, you can burn an objective at the end of the turn.
Okay.
For variable points going on, it's long depending on how
right. For how many turns that you hold it, that's how many points you get when you end up burning the objective. So each side will start with 3 objectives in their deployment zone, and so the goal will be to hold on to them as long as possible, score as many points, and burn it before you lose it. So that's kind of what we're looking at here, folks. It's kind of nice that we've gotten to see 6 completely different army builds on stream. So you go ahead and go when you guys are ready. I mean, I'm just talking, so to fill time. So the mission card's over there. I don't. So I believe the last one was 9 inches from the center. If it was half and half.
Units must be set up wholly within their own territory more than 9 inches from enemy territory.
Okay. So yeah, 9 inches from the center will be your deal. So this one again is table halves, so they can't set up within 9 inches of the opponent's deployment zone, so that's 9 inches from the center of the board. So again, it'll be another very aggressive scenario, even though it is a long table. But it's a long way to go to get to your opponent's objectives. It's over here.
Total commitment is the one you and I played.
Okay. Well, is this one you can't hold it?
You want to sit down? Your guys first?
Yeah, I'll place one of my guys first. Hold on.
You're good.
Oh, this is the better part of Valor.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I apologize.
Total commitment is the one you can't destrike.
No, I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good, brother. So better
Played
part
very
of
similarly, but
Yeah.
it's the one you and I played that you can't have reserves.
Yeah, no, you totally can. He threw me off with the name.
What? You can't have reserves this one?
No,
No,
you can't.
this one you could.
The one we
the one I've been saying total commitment is not.
Alright, so yeah, so
All right, so Tucker won the roll-off. Are you choosing? You're starting to deploy first, so yeah.
So basically, if you hold your objective, you're getting points.
Right. So the first turn you have it, you get 1. The second turn you have it, you'll get 2. The third turn you have it, you get 4.
You have to stay on it, or can you move off?
the last 40 hours? Huh? Yeah, I've had 2 12-hour days the last 2 days.
Or you have to stay on the.
No, I don't think you have to stay on it.
Once you control it.
Nope, once you control it, you're good.
Work.
And this one, you can't burn these.
Yeah. Starting in the second turn, that's the only way you score.
I don't know what this does. Are you guys on drugs? Oh, Wonderboy shit. I see it. I'm on drugs.
So after turn 2,
I didn't want to
Starting
burn
in turn
sleeping
2.
for them, so okay.
No, you're fine, you're fine. Yep, starting on turn 2,
Okay.
you can start burning objectives for an
Thank you,
estimated
Trey.
point.
So if you burn it, say turn 4, you get.
You get 4 points. And then if you burn it in turn 5, you get 8 points. You burn it turn 2, it's 1 point. Turn 3, it's 2 points. 3,
And the only way you score is by sticking.
And that's the one where you went through the game and then you stole this one at the very end and you set the counter on this one. I couldn't.
This isn't.
Okay, there's my one.
If a player gains control of the objective, this is score 1.
So if you
Okay.
don't score, you get to burn it. At the end of each of your turns, starting with the second battle round, the player can choose to destroy one or more objectives. If they gain control of the
Okay,
objective
so
this time,
when you burn it, if you had it that long, this happens. Okay, cool.
so basically what it comes down to is you want to hold on to it and then steal one of your opponents just later in the round, because then he sets the counter on that one.
Right.
And then you can quickly burn your 3.
Or you can just burn one try and defend all yours.
Yeah. But typically it's once you get to like round 4 or round 3, if you burn your 3 and then one of his, he can't score.
Right.
I want all of them.
So, or you can go chaos version and go, I want it all. Yeah.
Put it right there. Are you sure right there? Is that a good spot?
And I think you have to deploy outside of 9 inches.
Yeah, that one I did check.
So basically, it's 27 inches.
Yeah, you have up until 27. Yeah.
Does this count as a unit or is this?
No, that you place on the battlefield before you start placing units, but you're fine. Just set it right there. You're good. And it's wholly within your deployment zone. He has the carnal throne or whatever. He just lays down, so.
There you go. It's kind of nerve-wracking. Sure, your name's up there and everything. Everyone knows who you are. Everyone. There's thousands of people watching.
Thousands of people watching. Right now there are 3 people watching, and I think one of those is me. So.
Alright, how you doing?
Well, I'm gonna roll this thing because it's easy.
I'm pretty sure I've had more people come to my show.
Your show?
Shows, musicals, plays.
Oh, you're okay, that's cool. What school do you go to?
No,
No? Come on. You guys football team trash.
I don't care about this.
I gotta say for every Belton kid. Every Belton kid I see.
Also, I know what the quality of our food is.
You guys in school are mainly focused on like theater and
Tastes like chicken though. I mean, it's.
That's the fire story. Or at least we did.
Oh yeah.
Right.
It's in the name. Fire Slayers.
He's done a great job changing it with the contrast paint.
They could literally kill fire.
So as deployment goes on, it looks like, again, we're having another very aggressive deployment. Everyone kind of jumping up on the line, knowing that they're going to want to go for their, at least one of their opponent's objectives. Just try to go ahead and get it burnt.
Is that the whole unit?
yeah.
That's not the whole unit.
You don't need that one.
I need all of them.
I'm just gonna go with a knife from here on.
Yep, right here.
Put my leader up front. My leader in back on the side.
Like a gangster hat.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm so bad.
I'm so bad at this.
I'm like, I can't even do the basics. So bad. I love it. Alright. So yeah, these guys are going down here.
This is about to be a good game too.
drop your third. Yes, I have a couple. They look like a plum. Yeah, I know. I think those are great. They look like actually my hand out there.
All right. Well, they're getting into deployment here. I'm gonna go check on the other games that we got going on. So it looks like our Chaos Ascendant is going to be fighting the Flesh Eater Courts on the Grave Table. So Flesh Eater Courts should feel right at home. And then I believe they got an early start on the other game. Cody's Night Haunt took on the Zeech host. How'd your game go, Cody?
It was over by turn 2.
Yeah, quick game. That Zeech change host is mean, to say the least. So, so that game has already come to a conclusion. But Cody going 2-1 on the day, though. That's a good tournament outing for sure. Yeah, first time out with the Night Haunt and gets a 2-1. That's a good day.
Everyone's in a victory formation.
He could be bagging. He's not doing that.
His team was in a victory formation on me. Oh no.
You have to forgive Andre. He gets a little cocky with
He's
his
over
with his army.
I would be too.
So we'll keep you updated as that game, as it goes along.
And that's it for me.
Alright. And then the last one is 40 pools of
Go ahead.
So Zack is fully deployed with his squigs.
Whatever it's really called.
You have
I
a
call it
district?
Pool Patrol, but it's got an actual name, I
These
think.
guys
But
are just extra. And this guy, I have a nephew. And this is a spell. This goes in at my second phase.
So now Tucker's just got a couple of lizards left to put on the table.
This mask is just knocking it.
So I get to choose if I go first or give it to him? Or I go first? Alright.
So this round officially starts at 3:30. So this round will be over by 6.
Oh, victory point.
Feels like a victory point.
Victory formation. You're lifting all these command points, baby.
what's it like?
I have no idea. I get 1 per turn.
All right, so it looks like Tucker is fully deployed. And then looks like we had a face mask situation, so we'll take a short break here while we wait on him to come back.
Right underneath him, like, you're missing by half an inch. Yeah, go ahead.
Because Kairos has the deal where he rolls a 6 inches. You are ready?
How to get him out.
2 inches. 32.
All right, so now that we've got a full deployment, everyone will see who's going to be going first. So as we get initiative.
Play it this way, leaves a little more for your capabilities for 2.
So Tucker has initiative. Is he going to go first or second?
What's your movement? No, I'm not foul. Foul's back.
Yeah, he's got random movement. So
Slowest movement is 5.
So you can probably clear the pool.
Dude, I'm not rolling this today. It's not my day.
Your dice hate you? You need a set of dice?
Yeah, dude.
Microwave those dice in front
I know somebody who has a $25 gift.
You know what? I'm going to go first.
You can buy them yourself.
all right, so the Seraphon have chosen to go first with their objective or with their initiative. So top of turn 1, Tucker and his Seraphon.
So you're going first?
Alright, that puts me at 3. I'm also going to sacrifice the Salon's first spell, and because he's on the board and the Salon, I get an additional one, so that's
Yeah,
D3.
we could try the
So another 3, so that's
So Tucker is sacrificing some spell slots to get conjuration points so he can summon some stuff in later.
Oh, I was supposed to declare what the stars are, how the stars are aligned. Mage's Staff, so the Salon has a plus
vitality.
casting, spelling, and unbinding.
That's the draw.
Yes.
So casting and unbinding, he's now got a +1.
That's the only other one that you normally have
So,
on your list that
I'm going to try casting Veil and Vortex. Casting value of 6.
Well, that's
5,
where
6,
if you
7.
roll high enough, you might not have to.
Do you have any design?
You basically will sky
Within range?
I don't. No. So he does successfully cast the Balewind Vortex.
Retain this spot over here.
Oh yeah. The dude on the throne.
I don't know.
Yeah, the 6 goes off.
And
So now, I'm going to cast
this guy got
The middle guy.
one spell. I'm going to cast Comet's Call.
I can go for that one.
Casting value of 7. That would fail, but I can reroll.
So his first roll attempt for the comet failed. He is going to re-roll it.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So it goes off with a 10.
At a 10, I get to roll d6 instead of d3 units of yours. So I pick 1 unit. That one.
This one?
Yes.
So
No. He stays on the board. He doesn't die, no. He takes d3 mortal wounds.
Oh, that's fine.
so he's going to take D3 mortal wounds on his manglers.
1.
So 1 mortal wound. So not too bad on that spell.
Oh, no, I'm good. Okay. I've got an hour or two while everybody else plays that to clean up.
Alright, looks like that's all of my play. Because he is out of order. What's the range in Arcane Bolt?
I don't know.
Ryan? What's the range on... Oh, 24. Okay.
24 inches on Arcane Bolt, right?
On what?
Arcane Bolt?
Arcane Bolt 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, everything's alright. So now I'm gonna move on to my movement phase.
Alright, so that's it for the hero phase for the Seraphon. So now he's going to go into his movement phase.
There are certain people out there that would get a 6-inch increase in their distance, but
Maybe that was just
well, that's your shooting attack. Arcane Bolt's a spell.
okay. I think Lego Lander has 24 inches.
That might be.
For the
You could use the trade of Veil and Vortex.
Yeah,
Comes away from
that's
you.
one of the easiest ways to get the extra 6 inches.
how many wounds apiece
Comes
do
away
they have?
1.
It is for that spell.
They're small. Oh, I guess they could have empowered.
Jason got cool ones, like, it does like a circular, because you know how 9 inches really goes in a circle around you.
Correct.
So you got like a 9-inch deal that's got an arc on the end. It's pretty cool.
There's probably people that just run.
You got it from a dude off the edge.
Yeah.
Oh, Etsy's.
Yeah.
Etsy's cool.
Yeah, and the dude was doing it, like, he got all those movement trades, and they're like, the dude put like gloom spike moons
I think
on
it's
the
like
side,
copy because
like
of that.
angles.
Yeah,
Oh.
he got one of the same card I did.
Oh, did you show him that?
I think so. The problem is I didn't order enough sticks for mine. I must have accidentally ordered like 5.
Yeah.
And now I'm really got it. I got about a whole lot of them. I didn't order any. I never ordered.
Yeah, I didn't
These
realize
guys
how
fly,
like useful
these
the
ones
sticks
fly.
were until I watched it. Dude, he went from taking
How does
about
that
like 20
guys put them.
Yeah, I've seen people put the sticks on a lot of their stuff like that.
When you got moving.
Squigs, man.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Don't question how squigs fly. They just do.
All right. Okay. Wasn't expecting that.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised that these guys fly though.
Oh yeah, the little hoppers. Yeah, they definitely fly. With their little lances and little squigs.
Yeah. They're fun to play. I think whenever we start coming back to like regular Thursdays or Tuesdays, I think I'm gonna build a new army. Like a different list. I got 3 of these now. I got 2 of these guys. Cause what are the points value for those knights? Isn't it like whatever?
Where you don't play this anymore?
Huh?
This is where you don't play, you just ignore.
Don't get in my eyes.
What the heck? Your frog gets taller all the time.
Yeah, 10 attacks. No real more damage, but 5 up.
All right, so the seraphon are going to do a little bit of shooting. It looks like they're done with all their movement.
And then he's got a bigger one.
The solar engine will be fired on your stupid thing.
Mango squid.
It's gonna be 9 with 4.
So it looks like the mangler squig is getting shot at by the solar engine.
There's the part of me that will just fight.
The only guy you have
Come on, you know that's good.
No, I guess I'm just old enough that I don't like it, but
Heyo.
it's one of those because I would be that person that I would say.
One.
Yeah,
Run minus 1.
Oh, okay, so I need a 5 up.
2
just
damage.
because to me that
damage?
you know, it'd be different if
I
if
rolled
he was
horribly. So we're gonna roll about the
stuff and
same
he
as Matt,
insulted
just
himself.
so you know.
That's you showing some artistic capabilities.
All right.
Putting it into a 3D generator and then getting it that way. No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So it looks like the mangler squig took 2 wounds.
Yeah, that's why Jason's a chaos spawn. He's handcrafting, customizing those installers and trees. I have no problem with that because that shows ability.
Running out of reels. The 6.
But yeah, to throw Kermit on the field, I'd be like, no.
That's all I got.
That's it?
Wait, no, it's not.
One goes through minus
Yes,
2.
it is.
All right, so that's all the shooting. And is he gonna?
And some people would.
I've got. That's
That's
the
just
end of
me.
my turn.
He is going
Being that like he gripes about the cost of it, and he goes and does something like that. It's just
if
like,
he can, he has
dude, you
a
apparently haven't earned enough money to buy
It is on
a 3D generator, a 3D printer for yourself. So
So
6.
there's at least
So-
a couple bucks tied up in that.
So if I'm reading the mission right, at the bottom of his turn,
That's the model of my table. It has bins from a Great Unclean One and a Lord of Change. Each of those are 100 plus
$150.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Skeletal claws.
GW got their money when I made
7
that model.
attacks.
If it's a
Four
missile attack, you gotta do it
again.
after your movement.
Would that be a missile
I've
attack?
seen an edit
It,
of the,
that says missile
If
weapon.
it says
Three
missile,
goes
it
to
is.
minus
It's a
1.
ranged attack. So you
Okay.
have up till your shooting phase, which is after.
So I was correct. So at the end of the round, Tucker doesn't actually score any points for holding those objectives. He doesn't actually score them until he burns them. So points won't start showing up until later in the game. So, so don't let the 0-0 score deceive you.
3d6.
I've seen it, but I'm just like, especially when you start dealing with flying cats or the residents from the world, it's brutal. It can be.
All day.
If you're not careful with it. I just thought it was
They're very brutal.
Yeah.
Right.
Fire it off, brother. And then flying cats ain't gonna work.
This group is gonna move, and they are 2d6.
So, 6 more moves.
What?
What's that? Keep those exploding.
So 2, minus 2.
You don't know about that yet. Good luck.
I know I got
So 10, 16.
So you played the kids before?
He's gonna
I've seen
move.
it.
3d6.
There we go.
All right.
So 12.
So now we're at the bottom of round 1. The Squigs didn't have any spells on their deal, so now they are moving forward.
What is the one? I'm gonna put the magnets on the bottom. I want them to be the right ones so they fit right and everything.
Now the claws. Right. 4 and 3.
Then you would want to have the magnet bearing one.
I can still get the
Minus 1.
That'll be 5
I mean, you can buy the
Yes.
yeah, whatever.
Well, watches aren't.
One inch diameter with the smallest holes you can have. That way they weigh as much as they can.
He's gonna move.
No.
But yeah, you can get those from any hardware store.
Right. 7.
And that'll improve the life.
I lose this game. I
over.
I got
stole an E20.
counting this on. I probably could order like a bundle of like 100 of them on Amazon or something.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it down.
No, but I just don't.
Like I just have to have it.
Where's my over there?
Oh here.
Oh, okay.
I'm losing my mind.
They took over like nothing.
Okay. Alright, so, my attack.
Yeah.
So now it goes shooting phase now. The shooting comes after movement. Yeah.
So
So now he's gonna shoot his missile.
We're not gonna do it kind of Sarah. But I knew we didn't.
You have line of sight?
Half to feel like you're being treated for a ceremony, but that's why I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and distribute this now while everybody's playing.
The best, the Bastillodon, the smaller one has 10,
Okay.
and the bigger guy has.
All right, so the Squigs are deciding what they're going to shoot at.
That one has a 1-up save.
Are
you sure? You go for that one?
Pyros is gonna cast.
All right, so we're shooting at the big dinosaur.
6 attacks.
So he's gonna go off on
He hits 3s to wound 3s.
still go off on me.
I didn't roll those ones.
Because with Pyros he's swinging close to the eye.
He's gonna try to dispel.
So 6 mortal wounds to him.
Alright, so I hit 3, miss 3.
Okay. Wound.
So 3 hits.
All wounds hit.
Okay, you got
So 3 wounds.
3 dice minus 1 rend.
So -1.
5 save. I saved none of them. How much damage?
3.
So he takes 3 wounds on the big purple dinosaur.
Mortal or regular, so. 6 5s. So 3, and then 6 because of flesh of the fort. He's a hero. Only 2.
So then we're gonna go with just arcane bolt from Pyros.
Okay.
And we're gonna go.
Now it's charge.
Yep.
Mystic.
Mango Squig's gonna charge into them.
So the Mangler Squig is going to...
Special whenever you charge this.
Okay.
These guys are both gonna give their both some wounds.
Okay, so I want to hit rolls for attacks made with this model. Bars and change if this model made a charge move in the same turn.
You get to add one if it charged for the same turn.
Yeah.
So that's after you charge.
Okay, so charge.
Yeah, 9 inches. Oh, 9 inches from the gonky?
Yeah. I would say.
He's got a 5-inch charge. It should be enough to make it in.
Yeah.
So he gets a +1 to his ball and chain attacks on the charge. So if I remember right, Mangler Squigs are pretty
Moon cutter. 5 attacks.
pretty good. So we'll see how many of these little slon it can take out.
2 hits, 3s, 2 wounds, 4. 4 hits.
Yeah,
Wounds, 4. 2 wounds.
Ren, you have
No
like
range.
daily vortexes.
5 up safe because
This
it's
is a big difference in my list.
save none of them.
Okay. 1 damage. Now I'm gonna use the huge flamethrower gob. The 4 attacks. To hit, let's see. He's at 11, so we only took 1. So to hit is 3s.
So 2 hits,
That's 2 wounds at -1.
2 wounds at rend 1.
6 up. Save 1.
He saves one of them.
It's D6 damage. 6.
So it does 6 damage for the one that goes through.
Grab one.
It's good. It has like some type of.
I'm gonna try the chocolate. Yeah,
There's a chocolate side.
there's a chocolate with fudge in the middle, and then there's the corn blood in the other side.
No, this is where it gets fun.
Vanilla with raspberry.
I'm gonna use the balls and chain. Attacks. The 7.
So now he's going to the ball and chain attacks. These are the ones he gets +1 to hit on because of the charge.
2 hits, 3s, 2 wounds, 3s. I want to hit
Just on a 7-up, it'll deal mortal.
That would have applied to any.
Yeah. So these ones miss because that rolled whenever I touched it. I will say that. I'm not gonna. 2 wounds, 3s.
Only plugs your hits. Do you have anything on your wound?
It's -2 rend.
Okay, so
3 of them.
wait, -2 rend.
Yeah.
Okay. How much damage?
Just D3 damage.
So 3d3 damage.
So 3, 4, and 1. So
That's
2.
2 and 1.
So 6 damage. No. 5 damage. Sorry. So that's 5 more dead because he didn't get saves against it.
I'm gonna use grots fashion stick. 4 attacks. 2 hits, 4s, 2 wound 4s. 1 hit. Nope. And now he's gonna leave.
You can what?
He can flee.
So now the Mangler Squig is going to bounce out.
How far away does he bounce out? 2d6. 2d6.
So he bounces out 2d6.
So 6.
So he's going to be able to leave 6 inches.
Interesting. Wasn't expecting that.
Yep. How far is? I don't think I'll be able to make that charge.
Well, you already fought, so your charge phase is done.
And there you go.
Alright. So I don't know if he has to make leadership on the salon. I don't know if they're deal or if he's got to do anything there, but
6.
So 6 of those end up leaving the battle for morale. That leaves one poor guy left standing at the end there. So now we're at the top of 2, and we're going to roll for initiative here. So Zack has won the initiative on that roll, and he is going to take the double turn.
Okay,
So now that we have started turn 2, they can actually now start burning objectives to gain their points. So this is how they're going to gain victory points from now on. So they've held the objective for 1 turn, so now they'll score a point if they burn it now. But if they wait until turn 2, they'll score 2 points. If they wait until turn 3, they'll score 3 points. But if at any point they lose that objective, the clock on those points starts over. So you want to hold on to that objective as long as possible before you burn it, but don't want to risk losing it to your opponent, because then you get, you only get like 1 point if you burn it at that point. So we'll go back into the game here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That matches. Doesn't count.
yes, Mark. Okay, so I can place it. Cast on 6 within 66 of the caster. So I roll 6d6. That's how far it can move within the caster.
Part of it was the last part of it.
10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128, 129, 1
If you use the chain shows, you can't.
25.
So
Well, you can, but you can't fit it in the chain code.
Right.
Um,
And when the chain shows are doing it.
so now within 25 inches of his caster, he is now able to put down his spell.
Yeah, Joey sent me a text or whatever. He was just like, I apologize for not getting into on the vehicle.
Yep.
He was,
And what it does is,
there's a viable excuse, don't
so
worry
it
about
marks
it.
my mushroom as a
He was
casting
more
house.
upset because it's my last
My guess was you
encounter,
can cast the smell.
or
Mushroom model wholly within
like I wanted to
66
swing
of
by,
the caster
and I was like,
ability.
I completely
After this model is set up, at the start of each battle round, if it is set up, each unit within 8 inches of the model is evolved by the molten spores for each unit. Evolved by the molten spores, all roll a number of dice equal to the number of models from the unit that are within 8 inches of the model. For each 5 plus, that unit suffers 1 more wound.
So that mushroom's going to do 1 mortal wound for each 5+ that he rolls, and he rolls a die for each model in that unit, as long as you're within 8 inches of that mushroom.
As soon as it
yeah,
comes
so
in
I
play.
can go to
Yeah.
every Tuesday night.
Yeah, it
Flip on
says
the
as soon as
TV
it
and
comes
I'll
in
be
play.
watching.
After this model is set up,
alright, so we got
That's why I'm gonna
it's at the start of each battle round.
So,
But since I just set it up, it would go off.
yep, correct.
Okay.
Typically,
We're gonna measure it.
once every play can resume.
There's, with the how many?
Tuesdays is out
8.
night.
So yeah, I can hit
All
all those.
3 of those
Mondays
units?
is
Yep.
Leaky 3 and
So how many is
Wednesdays is Table Mob.
So he's going to roll 10 dice for the seraphon unit that's right there. Any 5-ups are going to deal mortal wounds.
yeah.
We still have a lot of newer players.
So that deals 3 mortal wounds to there. And then he's got 2 single model units.
We stepped back and we're doing the
This one's gonna be
to get
for this
everybody
guy?
up to speed.
5.
So he deals 1 mortal wound to him. And he's got another single model unit that he's going to roll for. And he does mortal wounds to both of them. So that was a really good cast on that mushroom. It's kind of a nice little mortal wound barrier that he's got there. So that side of the table is now kind of dangerous terrain to move through.
I got insane distance on that mushroom too.
Yeah, being able to cast it that far out was really a good barrier for him. It's either going to force Tucker off of that area, or because he's not going to want to hang out there and continue to take those mortal wounds.
Okay, now go movement. 3d3 or 3d6.
So now the squigs are moving into their movement phase.
charge
like
that
playing
one.
a friendly casual game. Hey,
Oh, do you
here's
want to
that.
skip the rest of your movement?
No, the intent is just
You have to move
if playing games, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I'm moving that squid. That's what I meant.
Rolling dice, supporting the shop, you know, being here just playing, regardless of if we're spending money, your bodies that people can come in and see what the game's about.
So he's moving his Mangler Squig back in.
Yeah, okay.
Stay outside of 3 of
He only took 1 damage,
So he's
how many wounds per turn do they have?
12.
setting himself up for the short charge there.
During the shutdown, the couple ones that are like, so yeah, we'll probably have some people
Those
coming in
guys
on
and these
Tuesdays
guys
instead of
gonna
wanting to run a 7 games or 1 games.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this guy first.
Seven, we're going to charge corruptor.
You know, the mechanics is you have a good grasp on those.
Oh,
It's-
got there.
What your next step on it's going to be is
So yeah, that's the fun thing about squigs is they have random movement. So like the Mangler Squig rolled 3d6 for his movement, where the little hoppers there are moving 2d6. So you can get some really nice moves out of them. You can move 12 inches, or you can move 2 inches. So it's a more of a fun mechanic. It's really not a very competitive deal. But like I said, being able to move 12 inches could be a huge boon in your movement phase.
my fire
King's
style
over
is so
here will
different.
try to charge into your duel.
I have to be really careful how I play it. If I get an unfortunate where my opponent gets a nice fortunate long range charge at the wrong
I'll try
time,
with the blade.
my army will melt just like anybody else.
No, we're not moving.
This
Oh,
guy, we're like over here.
They can be, but by no means like this.
He's been rolling pretty good, above average on his movements. So he's being able to.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll just spam second turn. Request and reroll all attack.
Well, there's
Doesn't
so
matter if he
few
hits or misses.
drops that I can
And then
control
these
them,
are the
but
ones
like I
that
said,
are
my
on 5
opponent
up.
gets it like on this one.
So that's the Moon Clan Grot's moon phase. So that quarter of the board will have his moon in it now.
Do I roll this down to move it?
You'd have to ask Brian, but I believe so.
Second phase, I roll.
Yeah, second phase you will roll to move the moon.
Okay, I'm gonna roll, move the
A
moon.
1 it doesn't move, a 2 to 5 it moves 1 spot, and a 6 it moves to the middle.
5.
So it moves 1 spot, kind of halfway between the corner and the middle. So right about, there. And then anything in that quadrant is now under the moon. So if there's a unit of your opponents over there that has less than, say, 5 or 6 models, go ahead and hit that with the things of the moon.
Over there?
No, it has to be in that quadrant that the moon's in.
And these are
totally or partial?
It can be just 1/2 inch of a model.
So 8 mortals to.
I said, you don't have anything over there.
I mean, officially that 1 pterodon or whatever would fall into it. So you can roll a dice. You can roll a dice, and if you roll a 3 or less, it will do a D3 mortal wounds.
6.
So no, it doesn't do anything.
So yeah, the moon, if he is in that quadrant with the moon, he can cause damage to every opponent that's in there.
Yeah. Okay, so he's gonna.
But it didn't go off, so.
No way to get rid of the moon?
The moon is kind of
It's
his army's little special ability.
He's gonna charge into that one.
So the Mangler Squig is charging into the big sea dinosaur that's there. I apologize for calling them all dinosaurs. I don't really know the names of all the seraphon. Yeah, I'm not going to remember any of that, but yeah. Alright, so that Mangler is going to charge the pterodons.
Your weakness is going to be. Do I have a spell that too? I mean, you could unbind it as well. At that point, it costs you a spell.
And they're gonna charge into
Unbind it.
Yeah, but that might be better in some cases.
Those bouncers are going to charge the riders. 8.
Well, yeah, for that, it actually does its thing.
Should be able to get most of them in.
Anyways, so. But I mean, like I said, it's one of those, if you set up over here, cast it and run it that way, and then the rest of your army moves this way.
But if I'm not mistaken, those have a 2-inch attack range on them too because of the spears. So that last one, even though he won't be able to get into base contact, should still be able to attack.
The downside is the pendulum. The purple sun for his army is he'll have a weakness against large.
I'm gonna go ahead and attack with.
And the purple sun is if I roll 30 dice, I slay the model. I don't do the
So the Mangler Squig in the middle is going to do the first attacks. The discharges are complete.
No save.
The purple
So
sun
needs
is like a
3s to hit.
It is.
either it does absolutely nothing or it does amazing.
But
Now the pendulum is a better workhorse. It does its job.
I got like
Physically only 3 damage.
I did like hits in the morning.
So he ends up getting 1.
no, the dominant zone themselves come in a box for $75. I will sell this 8-point pendulum for $20 because the box height is only 75 and it costs 13 spells.
His next round of attacks here. Hitting on 3s.
I'm gonna make a lot more money back. But
And wounded on 3s.
The testicles.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he
oh yeah,
wounds on
the
3s
Gemini-
and
Gemini
4s.
is
Really good.
So he gets 3 in.
Like probably the best endless.
Minus 1
Gemini
rend.
is one of the better.
With
endless
rend
spells.
1.
This overall, yeah, this like overall.
I say one.
You know, Cogs was always a main.
So he takes 2.
Oh, this is D6
I know.
damage.
And Cogs was 60 points. It was kind of like, oh yeah, that's a low rend. And then it went to 90
I
points.
also like the joints.
Ravenix National.
No, D6.
D6 damage.
For you know, this turn only for the pendulum. And I actually like the
I
joint.
was making sure. That's why I got all my cards.
Because all those damage, I can get more use to the movement.
Where's it both?
No,
Ball and
it's
chain.
one particular, so I cast it on him,
Tax is
so he
7.
gets, so he has 3 additional.
And so again, he gets the +1 to attack.
No, you're fine,
Hits 3s.
I don't care.
I mean, he managed to get lucky on the. He went over on, a Mangler Squig.
Oh, wait.
Or whatever in that first game and got the 6
I'd want
dice
to
rolls,
hit
6 to do it, and then
He
it
couldn't
did
even
2d6 more for you.
So if it was 3s, 2s were to hit.
Impossible Hail Mary, dude. Elite kid. It's like,
I feel like one of those ones
I
where
did
I
that,
take 2
I
out.
was versing Ryan.
So these would hit.
Goes off on the
Because he gets +1 because it's the bars and chains and the charge.
oh, yep.
And it killed him, you
2
didn't ignore.
wounds,
And I was going to save him from all my spells. The first spell I
3
did.
wounds.
So 3 wounds with the balls and chain.
And it's minus 2 rend.
I can ignore
Needs 6s to save. Doesn't make them.
D3 damage.
So even with the out the D3 damage, it still takes him out.
And that's why a lot of the Fire Slayer armies are like trying to fit 2 battlesmiths into their army just in case one gets melted.
We'll do this one.
No, it's my
Oh
turn to
yeah.
fight now.
I'm used to 40k.
Alright, so now Tucker and his Seraphon are going to hit back and see what he can do here. That Mangler Squig up the middle has been doing some serious work for him, so hopefully he can keep punching a hole into the middle line there and get a breakthrough.
He just didn't get them low enough yet.
What's that?
Basically, when it comes to the chart, it's in there, those, so all its attacks will be in full, so I rolled a 7, he got half. Oh yeah, he could definitely.
We're definitely going on.
So basically, he says on his top tier,
What's their defensive capability? What's their save and what's their win?
Save is 4+, wounds is 2, move 2d6, 5 bravery.
with an 8, it goes up.
Yep.
And what's the big one save?
Okay, so
This?
basically,
Their save is 4+. Okay. They're overpowered. I don't care.
You just want an army of Mangler Squigs and bare minimum.
I love the Swiss.
They are nice, but
They're fun and painted. Yeah.
I've seen some people say, oh, you need to paint them individually or whatever, but that was after I already assembled my first one.
No, I assembled that one. I did just fine after that.
It's
So, those 5 are going to attack them.
Okay.
Alright, so it looks like he's attacking over
Do they have a 1-inch range?
against the cavalry,
Yeah.
the Raptors.
So they'll be attacking the front.
It doesn't matter. They're attacking. 5 of them? Yep. 4. This is 4s and 3s, with their war spears that don't exist for the raiders. 4s and 3s. Oh wow, wow, that's pathetic. 1 hit.
So the Raptors only scored 1 hit here.
3 to 1. That does wound though. No run.
So pull up.
And he doesn't save it, so he does take a wound.
Alright. The raptors are gonna bite you.
Now the Raptors themselves are going to attack.
3s and 4s.
These are the Raptors, correct?
Yes.
No, just the Raptors themselves over here.
Yeah, they have riders.
Oh, okay.
Their legs are kind of bulky and so.
Oh, no, you're good.
4's the wound. 4 wounds, no rend.
So 4's up.
4 4-up saves for Zack.
I made 2.
1 damage each. And now the riders themselves are going to bite you.
He's gonna summon his.
5s and 4s. 3
Alright.
and 1.
So 1 more wound.
Shooting phase.
There's another squig down.
I'm gonna shriek at these guys. They basically 11. This guy.
So now another Mangler is going to get to go, I'm sure. Since that's the last charge that Zack has available.
I'm gonna shriek into them.
That would be.
10, nothing.
Okay, let's do it.
What the hell?
I'll take all the free damage I can get. You know my favorite kind of damage.
Oh, he does have the moon.
Okay, charging.
The moon cutter, fire attack. Hits 3 up.
Miss.
2 wounds. 4. So 3 hit. No rend.
Okay. The pterodon?
Yep.
So now that Mangler is attacking the
I
Pterodons.
thought they did. 6s. They all fail.
Okay, so 3 damage.
So 3 damage goes through on the Pterodons.
We're gonna go ahead and do
They have 4.
we're gonna go ahead and do the ball and chains.
So now the ball and chain attacks on the Pterodons.
Attacks is 7. To hit 3s. To wound.
3s to hit, 3s to wound.
Alright.
So 3 hit, minus 2 rend, D3 damage.
So
Roll damage.
3d3 damage.
That's correct.
Jason just went before me.
Well, we have totally different
Five.
armies. He has pink quarters, but.
So it's 5 damage to the Pterodons. So the last Pterodon is down to 1 wound.
We're gonna use the huge Sphinxal Gob. 4 taps. To hit.
Not dead yet.
3. So
We're gonna charge these guys.
to wound. 4. Oh, wait, to wound. 3s. Both hit. Minus 1 rend.
So now the last Pterodon is out. So the Mangler squigs are still cleaning up across the center of the board.
And he's gonna go ahead and can he flee too?
No, the regular maker cannot.
Alright,
And
is
of
that your
course,
turn? Or are you going to fight over there?
I might
So that's the last fight that he's got. So the Manglers are going to fight back against the Raptors. Not the Manglers, but the Bouncers. They're going to fight back against the Raptors.
I'm bringing it down. I'm
Lance,
gonna
2 attacks, so I got 3.
the shop anyway, so that way that very 40K
Okay.
and we just would have access to that until people run off with them and so forth. Eventually they'll.
To hit is 4, to
Attack
wounds
can't play most.
is 4.
Nope, you were more than
No.
that.
He's gone. Okay.
It's easier to fit them in blocks of 5 and then,
we go through it.
especially once you get them weighted. Yeah. Or you could go like I said, the other option is the.
Oh!
So 3 hits.
That's big.
Yeah.
And they just magnetize those discs.
Yeah. So you got roll. It's minus
That I
1
bought,
red.
I gave you.
3 minus 1? Got it.
Yep.
You saving those two.
So 3 wounds at -1 to the Raptors.
Nothing.
He doesn't make any of his saves,
So 3 damage total.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's 3 damage to the Raptors.
so I bought 6 sets of these for $30.
It's 1 Raptor down and 1 Raptor on 1 wound.
It's only good if you plan to magnetize.
Thank you, God. Oh yeah, I can use all 4.
It
hits
it's easier
4,
for you to magnetize your army than it is in putting it on a metal tray, whether it be
One goes through.
battle
So,
foam
3
or
hit.
just a cookie sheet.
Oh, my
Trying to get it out of battle foam without snapping an arm off or something.
Minus 1 red. Yep. Minus 1 red.
So 3 more wounds at -1.
Saved 1.
So he takes 2 damage. So that's another dead Raptor and another one down.
Minus 2.
It would what we have to do.
You're going to need to roll.
So you get,
whatever, 6
Yeah.
so 7 total.
No bravery is 5.
Well, I mean,
I think that's it.
there are. I mean, you can go.
So it looks like he lost 2 of his bouncer squigs. So he's got a low bravery. So but,
2 dice.
And then they go by.
it's bravery's only 1.
Oh, okay.
That's not like that.
4.
So 4 plus 7. So how much? What was your bravery?
5.
So 1.
So you do lose 1. So one of the bouncers flees to bravery.
Now, claws.
And that's about.
So that's a bummer for them.
You know, if you were to buy.
But they're still tied up over there, so that's
I mean, it's real.
not bad.
Is that my turn?
Size of the
So now we're moving over to the bottom of 2.
First things first.
No!
I'm going to unbind that.
Drop that one down.
That was a
Right here, which will still get to the bottom of the shelf. I would
What's your, what was your casting? What'd you roll to cast it?
Which would be where your Morn goals and stuff would go.
So Tucker is going to attempt to unbind the
5, 6, 7, 8.
mushroom,
Is that a blind?
and does. So
So it just goes away?
I believe so. I don't know much about that.
Neither do I.
So I don't either. I'm just kind of guessing.
You know, ask Brian.
Brian,
Yes.
when you unbind the mushroom, how, I mean, you have to do it.
Whatever, if you're unbinding at the start of the next battle round, you just have to, he only has to roll 6 to unbind it.
Okay.
Okay. So the mushroom has been unbound, so that's going to be good for Tucker and his salon over there, or seraphon, his lizards.
All you have to worry about,
But the mortal wounds were done, so
you just need to make sure your magnets aren't too strong.
Alive.
Because
So
if they
2d3.
are, I mean, these guys are robust, I can take them
So
up.
that's an additional
But
3 conjuration
something a little
points,
more
which puts
securely,
me at 12.
you just have to be careful how you pick them up.
so Tucker is gaining more conjuration points now.
Or not, but yeah, I mean, I would have the magnets myself. I went a couple of months, about 3 or 4 years ago, I went out and bought 3 bundles of 50 magnets, so I had 150 magnets.
Oh,
I only used
that was the
about
first spell.
20
I
of
have
them
2 more.
yesterday, 30 of
No,
them.
yeah.
So 3 goes
So I've
through.
still got 100
No,
sitting at home.
he's on that.
You know,
He's got 3 more.
spots or some, just so you can, you know.
So first and foremost,
The ones I would be worried about,
Casting
you
value
getting
of
done
7.
first would be the plate dice rather
So.
than
That's 9 plus 2 is 11, so I get the piece.
get them weighted and then with the magnet.
So we're going to go for another D6 round of mortal wounds from the comet.
Yeah.
6 of your units.
So now he gets to choose 6 of Zack's units
That's why I would
to do mortal wounds
get
to.
them weighted with the washer and then
Him.
use
So.
the magnet in
Roll
the
9
middle.
dice.
So the manglers and the little loon boss there.
Moon boss on the chip cakes.
So,
The
any minuses?
Him.
other, like the bag that I bought.
That's the fungi cake shaman.
Pieces in it, so it's 4 times of this.
Okay, you got your stuff over there. That leaves me with 2 more.
Twice as wide
So,
and
4's
a
a
little
4.
more deep. So it'll be one of those. I might
Them.
That's why I'm saying hold off and go buy the actual casing because I might transfer this army into that
And
army
them.
into that. It just
Or
depends
what?
on if I have enough room
Mountains.
because
Okay.
or I might be able to with Cheryl and I'll just
This is everything
down
you're
and buy
saying.
another.
So,
I've still got
starting with this one.
Okay.
I've still got
D3?
one bag.
2.
So 2d6 or 2 mortal wounds to the
No, I think
loon boss mangler.
yeah, no, 2 cases, and that's what the events are played at.
3.
So 3 mortal wounds to the other mangler.
And the army that you have, I think it plays differently than some people play at Nighthawk.
So 1 mortal wound to the boing grots.
You said you like to be more, a little more aggressive.
And now to the loon boss.
If you go 2-1, that's
2 mortal wounds to him.
Alright,
Then you had these 2.
the squig herd.
they shut down
So the squig herd's going to take 1 mortal wound.
bundles everybody.
And the cave shaman.
Dang, how many wounds do those guys have? 2. Got it. Cave shaman?
Yeah, and you have enough in the front.
1.
And the cave shaman takes 1 wound. So a decent amount of mortal wounds came out. Not a lot, but still good to spread the wounds around.
And the spirit food, yeah, I mean, if you can get some good rolls with spirit food, they can
25
surprise.
points.
And that's why. Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
And they are summonable, so if you had somebody like that guy that can heal, if you roll well enough, you can bring back a full 3 health change point or spirit food instead of a little 1 wound guy.
Does he have an artifact of power?
So we're gonna 6 up for the
Artifact?
regular.
Who has an artifact?
He does.
Okay.
I think that's it.
So, let me do this right. Yep, 18. Wonderful.
6 up after 2 up for
14 casting value of 7. So,
And the good side on that is
this has a casting
he's
value
not
of 7?
a true major
6,
part of your
7,
army.
8.
He's there for, let me bring back
So
some
he's going to
chain
suffer
rasps for
D3 mortal wounds.
So
And on a
he's
5 up, his artifact is gone.
Okay.
So the D3 mortal wounds, 3. He took 3. And to roll for the artifact, it's still there.
so he did D3 mortal wounds and tried to take his artifact away, but didn't get the 5 up necessary to take that away. So the loon boss
Casting Arcane Bolt.
keeps that.
Well,
So now he's going to cast Arcane Bolt.
Whoever's available for that battalion.
That is
I brought the chain
a
rasp
12,
forward is because
so that's
2
D3.
units of 20 on that, they're pretty robust.
So
Arcane Bolt 12, that's D3.
Oh yeah, yep.
Okay.
Anything over 10 on it.
He suffers 1.
So 1 more mortal wound from Arcane Bolt, taking him down to 5 wounds.
Like the last 4 months since you started playing, you
Oh wait, hold on. I think I can
without that or on playing your army. So. And that happens with more games under your belt and of various sizes.
How many times can you tell? Her guy's bite is 3-inch range.
This one was
It is.
so that last round, number 1 is the it was tough. Having never played it before.
Yeah.
And
So-
I make distraction from that even.
So that's
Yeah.
Well, I think I didn't have a 5 first. I think
This is a hard mission for us. He's got a big advantage. But this is your turn too, right?
So and that's it for his leadership phase. Now he's moving into movement.
So, if he can take over your objectives and burn them. How you been doing? I went for my game and I burned all 5 objectives here too.
It's a symbol for competitive play.
By 3. Alright, so I get 10 points, you get matching yours then. So that happened.
Right now I'm 0-2.
0-2. But he's having fun because he got $25, right?
You're
I bought paint.
So you won. You got over.
No entry fee and $25 to buy paint. Hey, woo!
Yeah, it was a good time.
Oh, dude.
You like my 60?
For your 60 grots?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I couldn't imagine. I had a hard time moving around 40.
40 of
I
them.
built-
You need movement trays.
I built
If
40
he
blocks
does, he does.
in 2 hours, Pat. Oh, I have 2 boxes in 2 hours. I was going ham. I was cutting out all the bodies, boom, all the weapons, boom, gluing them.
I forgot this Balboa.
Letting
This
like
would've been
5
useful.
minutes bases done.
I really need that.
So we'll do the 3 attacks on the red ones.
It normally took me about an hour per, but I was. That's easy. Try painting the moon.
He can can't. He doesn't want to.
Pat has painted it. It's out in the display case. You can go see it.
Haven't you seen my thing?
Did you actually paint that one now? You painted the whole army, didn't you?
Well, whatever's out there. He painted it all. He has a couple of going from counters that he'll have fun of painting.
Oh yeah. Those are the lads.
Oh,
Those are the lads.
So now I think we're using some of those summoning points that he was building up earlier.
These are the things I thought at the beginning.
Ah, so now he's just deep striking in some of his stuff.
Oh, that's what those were. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Found Disney.
Catherine's gonna.
Yeah, we may just have to wobbly model some of those on the rocks there.
They're up there somewhere.
So, got some wizards deep striking in.
Like the foam.
So 6 points is 10 skinks. If I spend 12 points at once, can I summon a unit of 20? Or
No, it would be 2 units of 10.
2 units of 10? Okay.
So I think you have to get one to get the unit of 20. It's like 14 points or 15 points.
Is there actually?
I think there's a 20.
No, there's a 20 stars.
Beautiful.
Oh, okay. They did away with the 20 schemes then. Okay. I thought you could in the old one. But yeah, it would be 2 units of 10.
Oh, that's the new book that came out just not that long ago.
Yeah. Yep.
Did they nerf summoning a little bit more?
They nerfed it from my stupidity, my fun stupidity.
No, you can't have 200.
No.
So now I think we're debating what we're gonna, if we're gonna summon some stuff.
That's what I sold off the Colossal earlier today.
I'm gonna hold off a little bit.
Hey.
So
Oh, I
I'm
had
gonna
a
go into my
4
shooting phase
during
now.
the 1.0 thing because of if you go full bore
So
and you summon,
he's going to
I had
shoot
400
Yeah,
states that I could have,
with his
in
sun
essence,
bolt.
you could summon as many as like 90 per turn. If
You don't like the
everything
mango squid, do you?
if I'm like, I gotta buy more
You don't like
states,
the
and then of course they
He's
nerfed
6
it, and
shots.
I'm just like,
I
I do
got
buy
three
it,
running
getting into it,
so
I'm like, it's gonna be fun
he gets
for
4
like 6
shots.
months, and then they're gonna do something because it doesn't fly, but so they nerfed
Threes
some
and
of the
fours.
capabilities of skinks, but skinks are still the best.
So now we're doing some shooting here.
400 skinks is not balanced, but he's what?
I'm
A wound.
bored. It was
2 wounds. Range -1.
75.
I wasn't very good with that record-wise, but it was fun to
It's
play.
1 damage.
Oh.
Hilarious to play, but
2 more damage to the Mangler Squig up there.
no. I was still in the painting
So he's got
process.
3
But my
wounds
choice was
remaining.
the Gods were, and my 40 of my 180 skinks that I actually had assembled.
I still need to paint
He-
40,
Let me think.
40 of my plague monks.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Oh,
8,
yeah.
9.
Yeah.
I've got 20 chain rats.
Even for the,
He wounds.
They don't iterate anymore, they all just have the same.
Yeah, that was why I went
They
with
just get different
Clan
amounts.
Stryer.
Can they do mortal wounds?
So I'm like, I do not want to have to do.
You get 3
Well, the part I know.
I don't have
You need
more wounds
the
inside of my
corruption
cat
side of it.
than the mushroom.
No, I just could not.
Other
I
than
was
that,
just like,
it's
no,
not.
I can't
Alright,
do.
so all of his
120
shots,
plays.
including his
No.
spears,
I was
are
really
going
hoping
into
that
his.
So now that is going to go into the Mangler Squig here. He's getting shot at.
They've fallen behind
So,
the curve.
starting with
And
the spear.
I would think that they're probably one of the next that would be
4
on the radar.
attacks, 5s and 4s.
I mean, because really there's only 3 of them left that don't nurgle or the daughters
Nothing?
Got 4 attacks that all miss.
I think are the last.
And then 9 attacks.
He's got 9 attacks for his second round.
Well, they were the very last army to be released in 1.0.
Anti-solar.
So,
okay.
I mean, they nerfed it ever so slightly. They tweaked them a little bit, but they need to have a 2.0 battle tone.
They were,
Yeah, my
No, I mean it was changes that need to be made, but there's still other things that they could probably do.
Looking for 3s.
1 wound, friend -1.
So 1 wound with Rend goes through.
Hits.
2 damage.
So 2 damage goes through on the other Mangler. Takes him down to 6 wounds.
Because you have to spend all of them in
That's
so it's just
exactly where you say.
you know,
Yeah, that's
Nurgle's probably the next one on the power up.
Not a fan.
It's bullcrap. This is the next video.
4s and 3s and 6 guys and 6.
Who else can shoot? Oh, actually, no.
Those guys
They can shoot. Yes, thank you. Well,
So now the skinks in the back there are going to come in and shoot.
That's gonna be the way it is. I mean, if they wanted to bleed the
what's your
5
cave
blood
monk
thirsters, then it's a different story.
The fun guy.
It's hard to deal with that
He's just a
much
caster,
offensive
so
capability.
I don't even know what he can do.
But
I'll be honest with you. I don't even know.
that's not the way they wanted to build their armies.
And the skink, or the squig forks thing explode.
Small ones. Yeah. These guys explode as soon as they die. And they do more
They
wounds.
are, especially if you can get the advantage with a blade guy's revenants. Yeah.
Alright, the chameleon skinks are gonna
Guys,
shoot
revenants, if you can get a good attacks before you get
What's the range of
So
it?
they're gonna be.
that's 16.
Okay.
So they're shooting his cave shaman.
Which, yeah, and that was the difference between game 2 and game 3. Well, one of the differences.
I don't think so.
Then you had 4 charges
But
back here.
unmodified hit roll of 6 is mortal wound.
Because his saving is 6 plus.
So this is 3s and 4s to hit. Well, 3s to hit, 4s to hit. Alright, so 1 mortal wound.
Yeah, once you charge down, I was like, okay, well, we're not gonna hit. Give me that, because you had more of that vision until you killed them all. And then you killed them all, and then I got the
Four's
power
the
in,
win.
and I control.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 wounds and 1 mortal wound.
And you got
So dealt 4 wounds and a mortal wound to the shaman.
6 ups. Wow. 2.
Gets 2 saved. So it takes 2 wounds and a mortal, so 3 wounds, and that, I believe, kills him.
Yeah, I think he does something whenever he does.
Explode. Please tell me he explodes.
That mission right there, it's only about 30.
Oh, roll dice each time you tolerate a wound or a mortal wound. If this small, on a 4+ that wound or more wound is negative.
So he can actually try to negate the mortal wound.
I'll do the 3 first and then I'll do the mortal. So a 4+.
Well,
Well, he's still dead, but
And so basically that's one of those, you go, how many drops do you have?
Yeah, I did it.
No, that's what I'm saying, yeah, and then, and if that's
now
what
I'm
you
going
asked
to
your
charge
opponent, how many drops do you have? Oh, you have 7? Okay, I
first
actually have,
charging
I could be as little as 3.
I did like really defensive.
well, actually, I just saved Curtis with Georgia.
And then you dropped more than I did, I was like, well, holy shit, it changed everything.
9
Because
inches.
I totally forgot to cast my freaking buzz spell on the big boys and get the 5 additional casts.
so going to the big creatures there in the middle.
He's going to charge.
This one?
You don't know who's charging.
And that's like I said, Cody's got, 8 games under his
He
belt.
has 9 inches to go.
That mission is tricky.
It is.
There's a few
So he's
missions
going to charge the bouncers over there. Boing squigs.
deployment, wings, almost forgot.
Alright, then to open up combat, I'm going to start here.
So he's going to try to finish off the Loon Boss Mangler in the middle.
2018, it was actually played this way across the table, and like an item that you can turn
have,
1, it was so fast that turn 1 I can get easily
I'm going
across
to
the
use-
table and to secure your objectives on your side, the objectives on your side. Turn 2, they're robust enough, you're probably not going to
command
get them
ability
off of the
on himself.
objective, and I'll just burn yours.
So he
and
gets
then
to add
burn
1 to his
3 on my side, and I would have 10 points, like much like you had. And that's why they switched it to
Sunstone
be
Spear gets 3 attacks.
correct.
Hitting
Now, what
on
it should have done is
3s, moving on 3s, and 6s
because
explode.
it is ridiculous that
I can steal it from you.
I can do a double turn.
3
There's
wounds.
nothing
2
to do
wounds.
about it.
It really probably should
so
be
5?
a turn at
It
the
does
battle
3
round,
damage.
but-
Yeah.
and maybe
I
that
saved
might-
1.
we'll find out here in a month.
So he's dead.
Yeah.
So before I move him from the battle,
They
he
do a
explodes.
decent job tweaking the mission.
If this model is slain before the model is removed, play
Oh,
roll dice for each unit within 6 inches of this model. On 4+, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. So
there's a
him
couple
and
that-
him.
For Age of Sigmar, they
So which one do you want to start with?
I'll do that guy.
ITC for
So on a
4K.
4+,
So the Mangler Squig is going to blow up to do 3 mortal wounds to the big dinosaur,
Yeah, it does. It does.
and 3 mortal wounds to the.
You have to play to get the full game in, and it makes it much more competitive.
Okay, so 3 mortal wounds to the big dinosaur
And of course, the
You know,
skinks.
that's what I did. I got
when he dies.
Oh, I didn't.
I know the rules better than you, one, because of that reason.
I wrote a
Only
1. I need
reason.
a 4+.
Yeah. That's why I'm like,
Right,
of
right.
course the skin is fine.
That's not-
trying to make an excuse
Okay,
No,
you can
that's
fight
why-
there.
That's why we, when,
That's why I think it's either ITC
Okay.
editions, which are
Yeah.
like it is in 40K.
We'll do
Those
that.
editions, I mean, you gotta know them too, but they don't, you're not gonna get a gotcha moment like turn 2, you can't do it. You're gonna only get so many points per turn.
Range is 2, attacks 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
So now the Boing grots on that side are going to
well, and
attack.
Age of Sigmar is not built to be, it was never intended to be that way, and then some people were trying to shoehorn it in.
Well, neither was 40K.
I know.
But the ITC changed though, the mission.
It's 12, right?
13. Because it's
But
17.
yeah, that's it, that's
So 3 hit.
So
3
that's like an
hits.
ITC type mission. Like, it doesn't, none of this is matter what class.
One, one hit, like 1 wound, -1 rend.
Oh, there's Rend.
That's
Okay.
kind of silly for a war game.
So this is gonna be a 2-up. He
So
saves.
at that point, you might as well have big.
Alright, so thank you, Gom. Another 2,
It doesn't matter.
10.
So on the 12,
Yeah, the 2-up armor on that is going to be really hard to break through.
Hit 4.
2K is typical.
Yeah, and that's why we were building the army for that, it's just, here with the escalation that we were running, that he was participating in, we made it up to 1250 before the COVID shut the place down, so.
So 5 to wound 3.
Yeah, my
3
neural
hit.
armies are much more.
3 more wounds.
3 2-up.
I actually wasn't competitive.
They all save.
Way under 3.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the
So I
weakest.
didn't end up dealing
Is that
any
okay?
wounds to it.
I'm a really good player, so I really bring
Yep.
it out of them.
My knights
But
are going to attack your
like, they don't have
riders.
much
Okay.
all for the table there. There's so many, they have some, but it's something like a unit of pink horse, not pink horse,
Like they're-
blade bears. And blade bears hit about as hard as a limp noodle, and they're not all that durable, really.
Yeah, if you can get them into
so I have 3
10-man,
knights.
20-man units, they're at least something, but the little 5-man
Even
units.
that's 4 points, I mean, it's like a lot of points.
No, but I'm just saying, but even some.
7 attacks.
His blade bear is tougher.
With the
He
war
gets
spears,
2
4 and
after
3s.
saves, I only get 1.
Not something that's gonna try and
So they're actually tougher than down. Yeah, and they're not that tough. Pink cores are like far way
4
tougher.
wounds. No Rend.
we're just gonna go.
And
So now the Raptors have dealt 4 wounds to the Boing squigs, or Boing
So I
grots.
save 2.
And
So he
it's
takes-
just 1 damage.
So he takes 2 damage.
well, I give him -1 to hit. That's what Zenith has. He gives them a 6 after save.
The riders are gonna
So
try
each
eating
has
you.
a-
5s and 4s.
a little different.
2
Mine
hits.
is nasty though, because if you have like a
one
big
wound.
kind of model like a dragon or whatever. I
One
can
more
do it.
damage.
Nope, didn't save it.
And it takes
1
it.
damage. And then
It's a lot harder.
the Raptors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So 6 more attacks from the Raptors.
So it's like I just turn your model
3s and 4s.
off.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
And
you
4
save
to
it.
So 4 hits.
3
So then he
wounds.
can also-
3
and
wounds.
No Rend. 1 damage.
So his army is very swingy if he gets lucky.
Save
So
2,
it's
so
not
it's dead.
killable.
Yeah, so now that Boing grot is dead.
Depending on the mechanic.
So now go ahead and clears that unit out.
In most games, 3 rounds.
Now-
you get 1 out of the single.
So now Tucker has opened up his flank
So, and then also, if you
quite
kill
a
all
bit.
the Jewish characters, which you've only got 3
The
of them.
Mastodon is going to hit them with his tail.
That's
The Mastodon is going to now attack the Boing squigs on the other side.
Summoner's first turn, he gets some of the pink horse to begin with.
Wait, yeah, they're dead, so
He's
you have
got a
nothing
few
left.
open.
3s and 3s.
Like for
2
me,
hits.
I would every turn blast this summoner.
1 wound. Minus 1 rest.
Every turn, if I go first.
It does
Which
D3
means
damage.
You have to put his one summoner outside of my range of that.
1 damage.
So 1 more
which is
Boing
long range.
grot dead on that side.
Portal where I can put it out. And
Okay.
it was 18 for
That
the first one.
is
And I did the first
that.
one, 1 inch from the character. So,
So, morale.
it's pretty far.
On this
I have
format,
none
it would be
on
possible
Nathaniel.
to get that.
Yeah, you could, but then
on
he's summoning,
Very
but then he's
spy.
summoning on his back line.
I only lost 1.
And if you
So
roll
yeah.
6 or 5,
So yeah. So we got to roll 1d6 for bravery over there. So 5, so he does lose a Boing squig. That is a bummer there. That bravery is killing him.
Yeah.
Got to have some characters up there to support, get some higher bravery on them.
If I score all the objectives, I'll still not win.
So,
There's usually that, unless you get into that where you're only up by 1 or 2.
that is my turn.
So we're going into the top of 3 now. Still 0-0 because no one has decided to burn any objectives, which
So we go casting first.
Right.
It's not necessarily your turn. We have to roll up.
Yes.
I played 6 rounds.
I'm gonna try 3.
1.
2 of the games,
I'll go first.
I got had to go first.
Okay,
so
casting.
Zach gets the top of the turn 3.
Got rid of this. Can I try and cast it again? Is that
Right. If I remove and don't feel like I'm trying to bring it back.
Yep. During his next casting phase, yeah.
Yep.
All you're doing is
What's
unbinding it.
scary, if he unbinds his own spell, he can then recast it.
If he has the casting abilities for 2, yep.
Yep.
You can
So
try
I'm
and
gonna
do
try
that.
casting
I'm not-
mushroom.
Well, that's what Storm
You
They
got
all look
6.
vortex, like, you cast it.
I'm going to try and unbind or dispel.
You get extra rate.
I got 6.
So, I mean, that's what the Storm
I guess
casting
add
is
2.
on.
That is a 9, 10, 11.
So yeah. So I don't get to cast it.
Yep. It's
Every round. my-
So Tucker has blocked Zach from recasting his mushroom.
Get it off.
Then it's just
Good
me.
happens. Good happens.
Phase. With running, is it 2 dice?
One.
1 dice when you run?
I believe so. I honestly I don't know.
I got my moon right here. So I'm gonna run with him. 5. And right now he moves D6. The 6. The 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
It's a lot of fun. That was fun. That can't really replace.
So 30 shots in on
I've never played with that.
No, I don't think anybody has.
Alright.
Pat sells a lot of these models. He doesn't actually get a chance to play with a lot of them.
So Zach is going to keep moving his loon boss forward in the middle of the board there.
Oh, you just going straight past. Well, you need to be outside of range to the card store. And if you can't go forward, you have to go back.
You go tell him that.
It's closer than
I'm sure he would.
Alright, so
Yeah.
So his Mangler and
You have to go back.
what did I rolled a 11.
That's the whole idea. It was the first time coming back. Get out and get some experience.
so the Manglers and the loon boss are going to try to rush the middle there.
Let's see, he was right here.
Borrow the terrain if you would
Yep.
like.
Instead of doing that, is it okay if I put him back and just go this way?
Take one of my
Yeah.
maps with you guys.
Because technically that was an improper move, so yeah, go ahead.
Because he can fly, so I'm
Bring
just
it back for the events or whatever. I know I'll probably get some on there.
that's 3 inches.
So yeah, he's just going to jump it over that hill there and try to move him into the back there.
Okay.
The map, you have the size wise, you can put stuff at home on the map to be terrain.
I'm gonna go ahead and move
In this day and age, anything will work.
movement 4.
And just more games for both your guys' belts. So.
Okay. It goes shooting then.
Shoot then charge.
Okay. Yep. So he's gonna shoot this guy with his missile. He's gonna shoot this one.
Okay.
Attacks a 6.
So now the wizard there is shooting.
To hit is 3s.
The
So I missed 1.
The right two
Wound is 3s.
3s to wound.
Missed 1, 2. So it's 3 hits.
3 wounds.
You have to be
Minus 1.
That's going to be 3
cognizant of what units you.
Give me what?
Yeah.
2 up.
Yeah. No, it's army.
That's just in your
But it's
That was ridiculous. Okay, 2 go through.
So actually takes 2 wounds. So 2 damage to it.
Go in, kill whatever it is, and then bounce out. And then the rest of it go wherever they can.
Okay.
That's
Alright, that's spiral. No, his safe gets worse.
Now he charged phase.
So he's degraded his save a little bit, so he won't be getting those 2-ups anymore. So that's a good for Zack.
I'm gonna try charging him into that guy.
So now the Mangler is going to attempt to charge the Balewind Vortex and see if he can get in there. So that's a 10-inch charge. He's got a good shot at it. I don't know what his charge distance needed. He really only needed a 10, so he did make it in.
Wow. Okay. I really didn't
So,
think that.
so we'll see if he can do some damage back there with his Mangler Squig that managed to get out of that combat with only 6 wounds, so it's not so bad.
He's gonna charge that guy.
Alright, so he's charging up the middle again. So he got a 9-inch charge, so that was more than enough to go ahead and make it in there. Doesn't look like Zack has very many other charges. He's just got his Boing grots that are going to be able to combat there. He rolled a 9-inch charge and made it in there.
I rolled a 10 for that last round.
What was the distance?
10.
It was 10, and he made a 10-inch charge to get in there. And he rolled a 9-inch. He rolled 10.
Okay.
And then he rolled a 9 to get in there. He needed 4.
You said 9, and I'm like,
Yeah, sorry, no, I was doing both, so yeah.
I was like, okay.
We're gonna do this guy first.
That explains so much.
Let's see. So,
My own hair is trying to kill me.
Moon. Nope. It'll be each mechanical job. Attacks is 4.
So now he's attacking with.
Yep.
So now his Mangler Squig is attacking the Balewind.
Be
Or the guy on the Balewind Vortex, not actually the Vortex itself.
none hit.
What?
No hit.
Got it.
Balls and chain.
He gets a +1 to attack on his ball and chain because of the charge.
Relaxing over here while the games are going on.
To hit.
Good to be up by me, isn't it?
We roll those.
So Truman always does. It's just over
I
here.
think we roll misses because I charged with the balls and chains.
I thought you added one.
Yeah,
Oh,
one
do you?
of the guys had to
You
drop
do
out.
have one.
Yeah, I don't think he gets a reroll. The 2s will hit, but
The one didn't.
so
I rolled 1-1.
yeah.
So those hit. So three hit. -2 rend.
So 3 at -2.
Okay. So that's going to be 3, 5 up because it's on the vortex. Which
So
gives him a +1.
3 5-ups on the guy in the back.
He saves 2 of them, 1 goes through.
So it's be DP damage.
So 1 damage. And then now he's got his teeth, fang-filled gobs.
Tax is 4.
There he goes.
He looks good on the table. He might not be the best option. I guarantee he's not the best option.
So he gets 2 wounds.
2 wounds at minus.
Yeah.
No minus.
2 wounds, no minus?
Let me
So that's going to be 2, 3.
off the table.
So 2 3-up saves here.
He saves both.
Saves them both. So only came out of that with 1 wound. That's very lucky back there.
He's gonna flee.
Yeah.
The other guy.
Yeah, the no, I thought only the Loon Boss can flee.
During the evening, we did a
Okay. Yeah. So he's gonna
battle
stay.
royal.
He's going to.
And I brought
Wait, no, hold on. I can choose.
And one of my other friends.
He's going to try and attack him.
So now the big dinosaur is going to hit the Loon Boss in the middle. And he's only
Attacks, hitting on 3, wounding on 3.
I'm like, and he's off the board full.
One hit.
I mean, it was like 24 wounds.
3 to wound.
Yeah, 8 grab, yeah.
1 wound, minus 1 red.
so 1 wound at -1.
I mean, it was funny. It was just like,
So it does 3 damage.
but it was just, we were just having fun for.
So 3 damage. It takes him down to 1 wound.
First person to kill 10
4s to hit, three's the wound.
There was 4 of us
On the
playing,
four
5
limbs.
of us playing.
Those both hit.
A good hour and a half worth of just.
So,
One wound, no rend.
so one wounded, no rend, so he needs another save here.
Does 2 damage.
So he's dead.
And he just like, and the Slayer Kings comes alive and you're done. And he's like,
And now, so Zack has one more combat with his Boing grots.
I remember you saying
But his save is declined a little bit, so he might have a chance at doing some wounds here since he did manage to pull that off. But it's still a tough target to put wounds on.
To hit would be 4s.
But I don't have a huge basement. I have a gaming table in there and I have a couch. I don't have a basement in this place. I got a.
3 hit to wound 4s.
Oh, maybe I'll let
Minus
you
1
know,
rend.
I'll just run that.
Three up.
So 3 saves.
He saves all of them.
So it saves them all.
Faithful God passes 2.
He shed garage outside, not this.
And to hit
It's
would be
helping the
4s.
local community. All the players and so forth, the paints and trays.
To wound 3s.
I mean, the Citadel in where I'm living, when I typed in
Minus 1.
hobby stores near
So,
me, well,
three up. He saves
I'm
one,
like,
the other one goes
$4
through.
worth of hours I'm gonna have to drive. I'm only an hour away anyway. It's not like it's horrible, but it's not like coming down from peculiar
Okay.
or.
Now he's going to attack back.
So didn't get any wounds on him there, so he's going to get to hit him back.
Okay, I knew you right over in that area.
One wound.
Yeah, I mean,
Rend
it's
minus
not
1.
gonna be as convenient for me.
So he's got 1 wound here.
3 damage.
So,
Two damage.
so 2 damage. So that kills a Boing grot.
And now the slug is going to use lightning on your guy.
My wife was staying here for, basically my family lives in San Antonio, and my dad passed away a couple years ago, so my mom's gonna move to San Antonio for the last couple of years.
6 attacks.
And then 4 attacks.
4's the hit.
She's not, doesn't
Wound.
think she'll have that much longer, but she's starting to deteriorate pretty good.
1 hit.
Moved down there, so I'm like,
So he's only got 1 hit
And
and no
no wound.
wound
I actually have a shop down there.
with the lightning.
So we're gonna move, at least instead of being 12 hours away, I'll be.
So I think looks like that's the last of the.
That's the end of the
Yep,
turn.
yep, so she's gonna stay here, get our house basically up to snuff, we have, we wanna put a newer roof on, replace the roof, because it's hail damage after 15 years.
How many did
Not
you
enough-
lose?
Not enough that we can get insurance to, pay for it, but, so we're having to replace that, paint
4
the
plus
outside,
3 is
give it
7.
So it's just how many you lost this turn.
we were starting to watch it early.
You think you only lost the 1 guy, right?
You
So
only lost one guy?
I have
So that puts you up to 5.
yeah, you're good. So he doesn't lose any to bravery there. So at the end of the combat, we're moving into the bottom of turn 3. So Tucker will get his turn.
We saw some of the night runs we got.
First and foremost, it's going to be the Sage's Staff again. So I'm going to burn my first spell, and I'm going to let he exist.
Yeah,
So
I think that was what we accomplished before we started this morning.
he's on the table.
It looked pretty
His
cool.
artifact, he eats some grubs, and he gains 1 wound.
So he's going to get his wound back for a little ability that he's got. He also gave him some more summoning points.
1, 2, 3. So that puts me
Oh,
at
right,
15
well,
points.
thank you, Jason, for coming.
Oh, and because I remember what I'm going to roll and try and get some additional symmetry. He gets to roll 2 dice and every 4 up to 1. And he gets to roll 1 and every 5 up.
Group chat. Or if you have a
So
computer and
that's
access to that, we can
2,
do it on
4,
tabletop simulator.
Four command points.
I was gonna say, I know you bought the Slave Spells boxes, like,
Stop.
well, I mean,
So now the comet's being cast again.
You initially were wanting, I was wanting to get you a training game with it, like, so that was kind of where I
1, 2,
threw my
3,
back
4,
out,
5,
so
6,
we're
7.
right there, and then,
So it does cast on a 7.
Do you have any
if you work from
dispels?
the Tuesdays,
Yeah.
I don't think he's got any in range.
Oh, they have not in range.
about that time, to early
Okay.
February,
So that means I rolled 1d3 and that.
March or whatever, and it was like,
That's 2. So it's going to be him.
So he gets to.
Yeah, far squid.
So the squigs that got attacked last time, and then the mangler squig are going to be the targets of the comet this time.
Mangler? He takes 3.
So the mangler takes 3 mortal wounds, so that takes him down to 3 wounds. And then the squigs in the back take 2, so that's going to kill 1 and wound 1.
That's his first spell. Yeah, 2 more. He does not have a rest of action.
No. Some of it, there are a handful of models that are ultramarine blue, but I was going to start that way. But most of the army is still plastic green. But no, I've got 18 of the inceptors with plasma weapons instead of bolts. But those are the flying.
Did he just strike you with it?
I'm going to cast Arcane Bolt.
So now cast an arcane bolt on to hit the mangler again.
That is a 10, so that's
D3 mortal wounds to them.
3 mortal wounds.
So that's the last of the wounds off of the mangler. So he's gonna
28 range.
Well, 30.
But I only, well, I'm like empty minimal. So I mean, whatever you're spending on that box, I could guarantee is going to be ridiculous for that.
I'm not even in the line of sight. I don't know if you can do
I
that.
would say my whole section, I would probably.
No, I'm also out of range. I'm at 34.
so doesn't have the range to dispel. So he takes 3 mortal wounds. So the mangler squig is gonna blow up.
The only thing you wouldn't get out of mind is.
With any units in 6 inches,
Which is just the slot.
I read the Beast Horizon books, and I was just like, I like the
on a 4 plus,
I like the way they're chaptered.
And that's including
The
the
board, what Philip, I think, plays the
So,
Imperial Pistol.
2 damage.
They're yellow. Those are the yellow one, right?
Yeah, wait, that's 5. That'd be
I'm not a fan of the yellow, I do like the warm yellow.
So that puts me at 4.
Oh, okay.
So it takes 3 mortal wounds from the exploding squig.
Have a good afternoon.
Or also in like a,
Okay.
like a red.
So now,
Lightly with airbrush with yellow from one side, it looks like a warmer yellow from the eagle.
You are a little bit, but it's not.
Under highlight.
Yeah,
it has been a while.
they give it like contrast to lighting and come from one side
Performance?
with the
Yeah,
red.
at a 45-degree angle or
And
something
then
like
do it
that.
all around in the,
Oh,
like a darker
so that's
yellow.
the end of the hero phase,
Warmer, not brown.
which puts it
And
into
then
the
highlight
phase.
with the bright yellow along.
So now the Slan are moving into the movement phase.
Maybe even try the yellow contrast
Old
with
blood.
an airbrush.
Yeah,
That way it stays thinner.
Cool.
Did you see the Iron
So
Jaws
he
army
could
that's
do
out there?
that. He's at what?
I didn't really look at it.
5?
Is the Iron Jaws army still out there?
Which means, okay, 8-inch movement. He's going to run.
So we're gonna run the big one up the middle here.
That's 6 additional inches, which puts him at 14.
He gets a 14-inch move, so he's gonna move quite a ways up the board.
and now that he's in range of this, that does.
Is he?
Yeah, he's in the moonlight.
I'm not sure.
I don't think he's in the right.
Nah,
He's in that quadrant.
yeah, you'd have to check table quadrant, but I don't think he's in that quadrant.
If you knock him
I,
off, I have
he's
to
going
get
to try and
I
tell it
can't
off
get
the
it.
screen, but I can't tell.
Well, I mean, you just measure it, see if he's.
So it's,
I don't.
he's obviously on this half of the board.
So is he?
It'd be
So 36 up and 24 in.
Because basically what I'm going to try and do here.
So no, he is off into this quadrant now.
Not quite.
He's safe. That lone skink hasn't been doing anything.
It's not my turn.
What's he think he is? He should be up there, fighting for his general.
So we're on turn 3 or turn 4? Turn 4?
No, yeah, because
Actually,
I burnt my stuff last turn, so this is
that's not. They're going to sit there.
Get 2 points up there.
Oh, and all of these guys are -1 hit.
yeah, it goes
In
1, 2,
shooting
4,
or
6.
melee?
So you burned 3.
Okay.
So 2, 4,
Yeah.
6.
Because they got the nets.
And this is turn.
Usually.
I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's both.
At the end of
Right?
Yeah. I'm not saying you aren't.
I don't know. This is my first time using these guys.
Now we got the raptors moving up on the flank over here. Now that they've dealt with those boing grots. So now all the pressure is being put on the grots.
Yeah, so subtract 1 from,
Now that his advance army has
from attacks
kind of.
by enemy models. So it is
within 2 inches.
Yeah, I have a, no, that's with the net. I have nets in all of this. So yeah, it is both. Because it just says attacks.
Okay.
Yeah, from any friendly model with a barbed net. So yeah, as long as they're within 2 inches of the barbed net, dude, they do have that buff.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So, that, actually, he doesn't need to keep sitting there. He can move forward.
I put it in a hole in a box at the scrap. I'm like, well,
He can throw it away.
Yeah, mine are all.
Oh.
So that puts me into the. I still keep forgetting to cast that thing. That's the end of the movement. I'm going to teleport down.
So he's going to attempt to teleport his lizards over there. And bring them over here and try to take this objective.
Go down the wire, isn't it? Bottom of 3. Bottom of 3.
So as it's been pointed out, no one has burnt any objectives. So it's really initiative on this next round is going to mean a lot as to who's going to take control and start burning first.
Do I want to summon? I have 15 points. What can I get?
And I can also bring these guys back.
Yeah. The thing is, like, he's got these 3 objectives. Yeah, no one can set that to light that one. Maybe they'll have someone there to light it. There's going to be enough. There's going to be enough. I don't think it's burned just because he's saying you have to have somebody on it.
Well, as long as it's technically under my control. At the end of the game, it's worth 8.
Yeah. You don't have to have someone there as long as you control it.
Right now, he's got 3 so far. But that's why I was helping. I'm literally tired.
So, shooting phase. I'm going to shoot. The Mastodon's going to shoot them.
So now he's gonna shoot the boing grots that he's in combat with.
4 attacks, 5 scores, 2 hits, 1 wound, and a rend.
So 1 wound, no rend.
They don't 1 wound, and it goes through.
And then 4s and 3s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They do.
Or no, that's with 4 hits.
Unfortunately,
I can count
there's
the 5.
sometimes where it's like that's the figure like that.
3s to wound. 1 wound, rend -1.
So 1 wound
Does 2 damage.
goes through, so it does 2 damage. So it wounds 1 and wounds the other.
I didn't get to him though, but I got to him, but I didn't kill him because my guy was at 6 life, so yeah, I didn't get to enough damage. If I would have been at the very bottom of the life, I would have been.
So the carnivore is going to. Well, actually, it's 18 inches.
I have an idea what he could do, but
He's going to shoot these squids. D6 shots. 4 shots. Hitting on 3s, 2 hits.
to play, it's like, no, why? One damage?
-1?
It's -1, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so they save out 6. So I couldn't even save.
Okay, so it's 1 damage.
So he does 1 more damage over there from shooting. So slowly chewing through those guys.
That lone stick is just going to try and throw a spear into the massive hole.
Why is he throwing into that?
Because I was like, I'm going to use the shredded skitter lead. He pulls up.
So it'd be -1 hit.
You're just like,
I mean, he doesn't exactly have a choice. He's on 6. Now he's on 6. And 4 to win. He misses. Chameleon.
I need water. First.
Because you got my 2 objectives,
Oh,
charge and take cores.
It was barely though. I had to win that. If he won the turn,
If I would've won the turn, I could've burned off all.
Chameleons?
yeah, if he would've won the, it's basically whoever won that turn. Well, and I had, well, it was, if you won the turn, you were straight up winning. If I won the turn, it had to go right for me.
3s and 4s into the squigs.
I love it.
Every 6 is a mortal wound. So that's 2 mortal wounds.
Deceiver and the corruptor liver, everything. He just sauced them off by turn.
5.
I was in
Huh?
such a
No, I'm playing now. I don't have that. This guy, and then I think my other wizard has
4 is the wound.
Uh,
2 wounds. No rend.
So we got 2 more wounds.
So a total of 4 damage against him. So that leaves
So that
1
would be
more.
3.
So 1
One more at 1.
So that is all of my shooting.
So that ends the shooting phase here. And we're going to see what kind of charges we can pull off.
The knight.
I'm going to be in the way here. So.
He's going to
Into the
I could pick. That's probably going to be the that is a 7-inch charge.
I'm on furlough.
Yep.
So the Raptor's going to get to charge the squigs.
Charge the SS.
And these raptors.
I'm going to charge.
6
6.
inches. That's not even got it.
So they don't get
They
a.
have a drummer, which should allow me to re-roll.
Whenever he's done attacking the squigs, I have to
At the end of the battle round.
I
can re-roll charge rolls.
So that 6-inch charge gets to be re-rolled because he has a drummer on those Raptors.
That is a 9-inch.
So the 9-inch charge is probably good enough to make it.
Actually, 9 inches is quite there.
So he needed a 10, so even with the re-roll doesn't quite make it in.
The chameleons are going to try killing him.
Because some of those have mediums on them too.
They also have 9 inches. They're going to.
So the chameleons are going to make it in.
Yeah, but you don't care because the rest of them are yapping.
So 3 attacks.
So the charges are complete. Now he's going into fighting.
I just turned 2 out of my main gross.
I got a whole separate room I'm already like, I'm gonna
So,
put a table in.
3 hits.
I'm gonna get a pin out to the outside, we're gonna put an airbrush booth in.
Because I got 6.
Painting station.
3's wound.
A TV up in the corner, just.
2 wounds. Rend -1. It does 1 damage each.
So 2 wounds to them. So that kills one and wounds the other.
I just wanna be able to.
And
He's going to try fighting. 4 and 3.
I don't have one of those, so.
He wounds. No rend.
so he's got one more save to make.
Nope.
So that's the last squig there is gone.
In my house alone.
That's
Unfortunately, I'll have less money for hobby. Because I'm getting all built myself.
I can't light it until my next.
Nope, at the end of your turn.
At the end of my turn?
Yes.
That's only a short term, stretch.
Oh, you can fight over there.
Yeah, and then kill my freaking excellent.
Yeah, your last opera squig. It is Tucker's turn. Well, he's got one fight left, but
Tax 2.
I pay everything.
Yeah.
I'm good at paying. I'm not good at saving money, but I'm good at paying bills.
You know what?
That's why I've taken this up in my house. I'm really bad at.
-1 rend.
I see new hobby stuff. I was like, I gotta go.
Okay, so that'd be a 3 up.
so he gets 1 3 up. Doesn't make it, so he does get 1 damage. Takes him down to 5.
Down another 3.
So now he's on 4 up saves with those AP1 attacks or Rend 1.
Both hit.
And then I'm seeing like the new Primaris guys.
2 wound, 3's up.
Oh boy.
Both wounds.
I got a primary.
Rend -1.
Oh, wait,
So
what?
2 wounds at Rend -1.
2 wounds, Rend
Now I
-1.
can do the sweat shields.
I'm bagging them for my soda.
He saves 1.
1 damage.
So he takes 1 more, taking him down to 3 or 4 damage. Or 4 wounds remaining. Not enough to kill him. Didn't think he was going to be able to, but it was, gotta roll the dice. Never know.
He's going to try and
Oh, we're
crush
getting some of the tables out.
And now he's gonna fight him back and see if he can kill that last little hopper.
3s and 3s.
Yeah, I've done my best.
1.
Really cool. That's all contrast.
You got 1 hit.
That wounds at
Contrast is
It does
godsend
3
when
damage.
it comes to trade.
What's the minus?
Rend -1.
Okay, so 5 up.
He's got a 5 up save. So 2 damage and he's gone. And so this will be the end of Tucker's turn. So the Seraphon.
Light up that week.
So he's going to burn Zack's objective.
Well, in this case, I didn't even do that. That's good.
Now you can take the null.
So with so yeah, with Tucker, if burning his objective, unless Zack can make it across the table and burn one of Tucker's, there's actually no way that Zack can make it back to.
There's no way I can do it.
So if Tucker burns all 3 of his backline objectives plus the one that he just got, that takes him up to 9, 10 points. If Zack were to burn his 2, that would take him up to 6 points. And, on his next turn, it would take him up to 8 points. And there's no chance of victory there.
That was a close game.
So it was definitely a close game. I think a couple moves here or there could have made a huge difference, couple different rolls. But yeah, it was definitely a fun one. So that is it for our tournament today with the end of round 3. I hope you guys enjoyed watching.